You're listening to the Rogers Sporting Goods Podcast with Patrick Fisher,
Chandler Smith,
and Josh from Outdoor Limits.
In this podcast, we'll touch on everything from gear to ducks to deer, turkey and fishing. From field to table, let's dive in.
Over to my left, Gregory, who has been on this podcast before a while back. I wanted to start off with Saturday morning. That's what I wanted to start off with.
Oh my!
Do you remember what happened Saturday morning?
Yes. So we're on. I'm assuming you're talking the phone incident.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on X trying to get a boat back to a timber hole that we had marked, and the phone might have got set on a boat blind and slid off into the water.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, this is
About 3-4 foot of water as well.
Southeast Arkansas, timber hole, looking at Onyx, driving at night, all the cool stuff, weaving in and out trees and whatnot. And then, I don't know, how far were we from that hole?
We were probably 200 yards, I'd guess.
We weren't that
150.
far. But yeah, phone drops in the water.
Whose phone was it?
It was Travis's.
Travis.
And
Yeah.
he'll probably, we'll talk about this later in another podcast when he swings by. But
I guess we're not carrying an Avery anymore.
We can't get a hold of him, so.
yeah. But yeah, it kind of sucked because now we didn't know exactly where we were going. And actually, we were kind of all blind because nobody downloaded the offline maps for that area. So we're all like, oh, we don't have signal. We're in the middle of the dark in the timber on the boat, and we don't exactly know where we're at. Well, we know we're close to something, but everything looks the same when you're down there. The trees, every which tree looks like the same tree.
Especially at night.
Yeah, you feel like you're going around in circles. Anyways, yeah, we finally turn around and we find this one unique lean tree. The tree that was leaning over a tree I was hiding under that was like making noise, and I thought it was going to fall on my head when we were hunting. And I told you that, right?
Yeah.
That I didn't, this tree was about to break at any time and fall on me, so I didn't hide under that tree no more. But we found that tree. That gave us our bearings on where to set up from the previous day. We hunted the timber hole the day before and had really good luck. So we just went back and we said, don't mess it up if it ain't broke. But yeah, that was an interesting morning.
Yeah. So on our way there, Travis dropped his phone in the water. He decided to mark the spot with a stick and glove. We could find the spot.
You're going to need to get closer to that microphone.
Sorry.
Oh, that's better. I can hear you now.
He decided to put a stick in the mud and put a glove on top so we could find the spot. And he went and dropped us off at the hole. And he just went back to that gloved stick and started looking again for his phone.
Oh, and yeah, he looked for 20 minutes before we gave up.
Well, I don't think he has a phone yet still.
Is he not texting
By
back?
the way, because oddly enough, Brandon was wondering about XD geese as we started talking, and goes, I text Travis, and I was wondering why it didn't deliver, and he's not answering me.
Yeah.
Well,
he
might have lost his phone again.
He's still incognito.
Unless he lost it again.
Yeah.
But so he looked for about 20 minutes, then dropped us off.
He took his jacket off and was like getting wet. Water was going over his waders, and he was just trying to find the phone.
It's about 30 degrees this morning.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was
cold,
pleasant.
but it wasn't crazy cold, I wouldn't say.
Oh, I've lost my phone in the marsh a couple of times, but I always find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gregory lost his phone one time in the marsh and lost it, or he didn't find it, and then I think he lost calls too at the same time.
Yeah, it was the same day. I bought a phone. I think it was an iPhone 6. 1 week later, I lose it in the marsh and a call the same day.
Isn't like the
Never
barrel of
found
the call? You had like the insert?
No, I didn't have anything.
Oh, you just lost the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I don't even know how.
It was like a field proven or something.
Yeah, it was a field-proven single shot.
Single shot. Dang, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember one time, I think this was 2 seasons ago, I was in my kayak, and I shot a bird, and my phone was in my lap because, you're playing a game or whatever, it's slow. And I forgot that my phone was in my lap. I hop out of my kayak into waist-deep water to go retrieve this bird. And, I'm looking, going, okay, where's my phone? Checking, all 16,000 pockets I've got. And then I feel my foot bump into something.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, oh, there it is. You do the old sleeve roll up, reach down in there. And I'm so happy they make these phones waterproof now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It was like, what, an hour of him searching?
Yeah, so So when he went back, he was looking for about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, we got all set up ready to hunt. We're like, screw this, we're going to shoot ducks.
Yeah, and he went back and was looking. It was about an hour and 15 minutes, and I was kind of getting worried just because it was cold, and I knew he'd been underwater, like, you know, filled his waders. It's like, you know, he's got to be freezing at this point. So I walk over there, and I start looking, and he's, I mean, basically shivering. He's like, I got to go back to the cabin and get some warm clothes on and a new set of waders. And I was like, all right, just pull the boat up here. We'll load, you know, some of the stuff we had out there up, and you just head back. And as he grabbed the boat and was coming back to me, I stepped on his phone. So
you always find it with your boot.
So I reached down, got and filled my waders and soaked my sleeve, trying to be a friendly guy, and pulled it up for him.
Yeah,
but you did lose it for him.
Yeah, and they scared a bunch of ducks
That's his
off
fault.
because they were hooping and hollering about a couple hundred yards away. I'm kidding. I don't think there's any birds working at that time.
We were pretty excited. And,
I know. Everybody, the whole marsh or the whole area could.
Yeah.
All the trespassers and everybody.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
How many people are hunting in that area?
Supposed to just be us, but with with some high water, there was a few more guys that got in.
Yeah. We'll get over that here. We'll get over that topic in a second. But yeah. So that was a crazy morning because nothing was going right. I mean, we shot a mallard that sailed away, and Travis drove off on the boat to go retrieve it and end up ripping off his dog ladder. So like everything was breaking and falling apart that morning, which was great. But it was still a great hunt in the timber. We had a blast.
Yeah.
When you were walking back from finding his phone, what'd you almost lose?
So in the while I was finding his phone, I took my jacket off. And apparently I had put my keys in my jacket pocket and not zipped it. And, you know, we're 10 hours away from home. These are
set of keys.
My truck keys. I have one set of keys down there with me. And walking back, you know, don't think anything of it. I get back to my spot, and I go to put my jacket back on. My truck keys fall out then and just happen to land in my waders, thankfully.
Oh, man.
But,
Holy.
yeah, thankfully, and they never fell out on the walk back, and I honestly don't know how that happened or how they didn't.
Proper gear management when you leave the truck is extremely important.
Yeah. Keys and wallet go into zipper, and they don't get touched again.
They go in the pockets that will be inside the waders that you don't touch the whole hunt.
Yeah.
The following day, they did not make it out to the marsh.
We didn't
They
need
stayed
him out
back in the
marsh.
cabin.
The only reason he grabbed them that morning is because we needed more ammo out of the back of the truck, and we wanted to unlock it. But we didn't need those truck keys necessarily.
No.
But yeah, me, Gregory, Mashburn to my left, which is a clothing buyer and a bunch of other stuff categories for Rogers, and then Houston Knox went down with Travis Mueller from Banded Avery. Shout out to Travis. He's been on here plenty of times for the podcast, and we went down and hunted southeast Arkansas, which was unreal. And he said, like, you guys want to sit behind stand behind a tree in a timber hole and shoot ducks for 3 days, right? And we're like, yeah, like that's what we don't have. Just do that. So that's what we did. Friday we shot one shy of a 4-man.
Yeah, we were one bird shy, and we had the opportunity to fill that, but it got away.
Yeah, you're gonna call him Houston out on that.
Yep, I am. Sorry, Houston.
Houston had the last kind of shot. It was like, hey, Houston, this is it. Yours is your limit right here. This is your bird. Bird comes in. It's like, that's it. Houston, take it. 2-3 shots go off and nothing falls. Oh, man. I can't believe we just drug him under the bus on the podcast about that.
He's not going to listen.
It's bad
to
because he's not even here.
Yeah.
Was it like small groups that come in at a time?
It depends.
Ones and
we
twos?
loved the pairs worked great, and we shot a lot of drakes that way. And then we had some bigger groups come in, and then the big groups were really gadwalls. And there were some big groups of mallage, but really gadwalls. Gadwalls came in by not like, we're in a timber hole, so 8 to 10 that dropped in through the trees was a lot, and it was fun, and I think we dropped 6 out of
I think
6 gadwalls out of one group, and I think
I think
a few got away.
Came in or not.
Yeah.
I think 8 came in, and there was only 3 of us at this point. Travis had walked back to the boat, and we dropped 6 out of the 8, and they were all drakes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was solid. Yeah, solid shooting.
Yeah, and then Saturday had sun, which is what you want. More light on the decoys, more light on the spinners, more shadows in the trees.
But 0 wind.
But we had 0 wind. So we played around. We moved the spread. How many times?
Like,
was it 4 or 3?
3 or 4. I think 4, but one of them was like barely like 15-yard move.
I think the first hole we moved trees once.
Yeah.
And then we decided to move the spread and then move trees again. I think I put my bag on a tree 4 different times. Anyways, we shot 14 that day, but I still enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. But that time we were more like in timber, like thicker timber, so they were coming down a little, a little steeper versus like kind of working their way towards you, I guess.
Yeah, the first timber hole straight down like a lane. Had like we could guide them in.
Mm-hmm.
So how many decoys were you putting out?
3 dozen.
3
First
dozen.
2 days was 3 dozen.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the last day, but yeah. First 2 days was 3 dozen decoys and
2 spinners and 3 squirt, like splashers or squirters.
Yeah, we had 2 mojos, and then some, like the pulsator, lucky duck agitators. We had 3 or 4 of those out.
Yeah,
that was the first 2 days. So it was a good looking spread, and it did what we needed to. Sunday was a great day. Again, I think we were 1 bird shy.
Yeah,
Houston again.
I mean, I'm not sure who it was, but it probably Houston.
Was.
Yeah,
it wasn't the first. He had an opportunity, didn't shoot. It was just that's what ended up like it got. We were heading out that same day and just got so late. We were waiting on 1 bird or something like that.
Yeah,
couldn't believe it. But that actually the water for all this flooded timber had gone up because the river was up, and then it flooded this whole area and gave a bunch of water to really cool places. But Sunday, it had dropped 3 feet.
Yeah, 3 foot overnight going into Sunday morning.
So all of a sudden, all the holes we wanted to hunt the Sunday morning like disappeared. Dry ground. The only thing we had available were like early into the timber and like these roads and stuff. So we actually hunted you really can't tell, I guess, if you're a duck, but it was a road, a pathway, a UTV, path that was kind of wide enough to put decoys in, but it held water. And it was dropping so fast, like you could start seeing the road come up outside of the decoys. It was dropping so fast, but it actually worked because I think we had good visibility, and we were still kind of in the timber. We had trees all around. It wasn't maybe as tight, but we actually brought out our 3 dozen XD mallards, and then we brought out another 2 dozen gadwalls.
It was a 2 dozen gadwall and a dozen pintails.
Yeah, a dozen pintail.
Big spread.
Yeah. We brought those out like extra later or something. I think he drove back.
And drove back and got more. Yeah.
But we also our decoy spread was mallards. Kind of the bulk of the center was mallards with their landing hole and like a jerk cord. We actually brought a jerk cord out this time. And then, top right corner of the spread was like a pack of pintails, and the bottom left corner or bottom right corner was a big group of gadwalls. So the idea was to kind of, as they're coming in, they see like their pod of species and whatnot. And we ended up shooting into a great pack of pintails, which we hadn't all week. And Travis shot like a really, really nice sprig Drake pintail.
Yeah, absolute stud. Probably 4 or 5 inch sprig on it.
Yeah. And we shot some pintails. I think 3. I didn't actually hit one because I was too excited. I had to turn around and grab my gun and shoot. It was a mess. Excuses. I just missed. But then Houston shot like a mountable wood duck, like the most full plume wood duck I've ever seen. So I think Houston's going to put that up on the wall somewhere.
Yeah, it was fantastic wood duck.
Yeah, but we shot gadwalls, we shot teal, and we shot mallards, pintail, like wood duck. That was our last Sunday bag.
Mm-hmm.
I get 23 ducks out of 24, I think.
Yeah, that's right. And like you said, it's a good mixed bag, and everything kind of worked differently, which was really cool. We had a southeast wind, and some of them came in with the wind, and some traditionally like they do against the wind. But it was kind of crazy.
It was nice hunting though when like the temp would get up to like, did it get up to 50 degrees?
It felt like it did because I was sweating bad towards the end. Yeah.
It felt like so warm, but like the duck numbers felt like it should be cold. Like when we have warm days up here, like 50 degrees, we ain't seeing a jack flying around.
No, nothing's flying.
But it was down there, and we're sweating, and it's hot, and just ducks are just flying around, coming right in. maybe it was just the area we were in or whatnot.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what.
How far away was the cabin?
Probably
Did you stay close by?
Yeah, it's probably a 10-minute boat ride.
10-minute boat ride. Yeah, and we pretty much drove. We took the Ranger with all the gear, 50 yards to the river.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So the boat we were using was an 1860 with a 55 surface drive on the back. And I don't know if we did it justice, the water levels earlier, but we were able to boat onto this road and boat up to where we were setting a spread. Well, by the end of the hunt, the water had dropped so much just during those 4 hours that we hunted, we weren't able to get the boat up.
Oh, yeah, Sunday morning, we were able to drive all the way there and then leaving Sunday afternoon.
We had
10 o'clock?
Yeah, 10:30. We had to pull the boat.
We had to drag the boat on foot out of there.
Because the water was just dropping that fast. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah. But, yeah,
Gosh, dang.
Next year, Pat, you're going to go.
I was thinking about you.
We were talking about you.
Yeah.
We were talking about you and Sonia.
I was hurting, though. My back was killing me.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you get to pull a boat next year, so look forward to
It would have
it.
been good.
But, yeah, so.
But I'm sure it was fun, yeah.
Yeah, me,
The
Greg, and
timber
Houston
hunt
got
would
to
be super fun.
see some Arkansas timber hunting and stuff. But we'll get back to some other topics about that. But we have kind of some catching up to do from TikTok, I guess.
A little housekeeping.
Yeah.
From last episode.
This is a
Wonder if
video podcast now too.
I think I can
Oh yeah, if
pull it up.
you like to watch podcasts and watch the video, you can go to YouTube, and we haven't started posting them on or pushing them through the podcast platform. They're on YouTube, correct, at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on getting them on Spotify and Apple, whatever takes that video podcast and whatnot. But yeah, so we got the video out on YouTube, and we also put a part about the blue lost state, right?
Mm-hmm.
We put that out on TikTok and just to everybody. And Pat was asking what everybody's thoughts were, or he just wanted to find more about it because Pat's never heard about it.
No.
I think the closest state that has those laws is what we say 18 hours away,
Something like that.
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, roughly.
pretty far away from us.
So to put this out there, that's why we do this show, like, is the knowledge and sharing knowledge and getting feedback from you all, which was amazing. Like the response we got, and I was reading through everybody's comments of like, can they hunt, not hunt, and certain types, and it was crazy. So that was awesome to see. And like, growing up in Missouri, it's not something that you're exposed to, so you don't even think about it, right? It's not I've never known not hunting
Yeah.
being available 7 days a week. It's just never been a thing. Even though the blue laws were there, you just don't talk about it. You don't even think about it. And I was born in Iowa and then moved to Missouri, and both those states, it's 7 days a week hunting. So when I brought that up, which you guys had heard about it, which prompted me to
look it up on the
look
the
it up.
podcast.
Yeah. So to me, it was just like, my gosh, I can't believe that we're still doing this
Yeah.
for right or wrong reasons, or, whatever those states or counties or municipalities and their rules they have. But yeah.
And I knew there was some like variances and whatnot, and
Sure.
some are changing all the time.
Yeah, and different states have different rules on a lot of things. Like we've talked about trail camera laws and things like that, and there's always something different, so every state's got, different rules and stuff, and I by no means claim to be an expert on any of this, but that's why we do it, so we can learn about it and
always-
hopefully change it for the better.
Always talk to your local game and fish.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I tell everybody when they come in, right? Because they think I'm selling mineral and Whitetail Institute clover. They're like, well, this guy here. So what do you think? I'm like, I don't know. You have to call the MDC. I'm like, when that changes year to year too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Always got to get the
They
booklet.
just changed they just had their meeting for 2023. They're adding a season
For deer.
For deer this year.
What are they adding?
Just another season to shoot.
I think it was an early season rifle or
Yeah,
early
it's
season
like
gun season of some sort.
Something like that. Yeah. Like
For bucks or just
pre-youth weekend.
Yeah.
Like it's like there's like a mini weekend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I have to look at it exactly. And then
either species?
And then your youth.
Or either
and
sex?
then your normal.
You'll have to refer to the hunting booklet this year, Chandler.
Yeah, exactly. But they just got done with those meetings and came out with,
Yeah.
their year-end stats and, their home meetings. So just going through some of these, and obviously these are listeners writing about where they're from. And so just to throw out some knowledge to people, like the one, this is smoked out waterfowl. Put this on there. In Delaware, you can hunt deer on Sundays, but not waterfowl hunt on Sundays.
I seem to hear that quite a bit in some states. I think there's 11 that we're dealing with.
And he said deer hunting on Sundays is a more recent thing as well. Only in the past few years has it been allowed, so it's recently changed. That was Delaware. None of these, obviously, again, some of this can vary in when it started, but a lot of what I saw was public versus private was the main thing. It seemed like you couldn't hunt on public, but private you could in a lot of cases.
Yeah. I think there's only, I could be wrong on this, but I think there's only 2 states that just outright ban it on Sunday.
Yeah, there was one. It was like Maine. This guy wrote, "No exceptions here." So
That is unfortunate.
Jeez.
But those laws are slowly changing.
They are. Well, yeah, because the thing that I read too wasn't. I mean, it was recent, but obviously things had changed since we talked about that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, like this. This one's Trev_Johnson 15 responded. He said North Carolina has some laws regarding waterfowl hunting, especially the fact, and this could change. This is what he wrote. Especially the fact that you can only kill one bluebill till January, and then it's 2 till January, and then it's 2 after that.
Is Kansas
It's like
that?
it's just like a random change.
No, but I think.
Or does Missouri like that?
Oh, I think if I remember correctly, like Ohio and Michigan, maybe Wisconsin. I don't know. I've heard of some states having that, where it's like you can shoot one bluebill up until this date, and then you can shoot 2 after that. Be really
I
awesome.
feel like I've seen that this year, and I wanted to check.
Like this person, this is talking about the variable changes. So this person in Virginia, it's only no Sunday hunting for deer and bear with the aid of dogs. Also, you cannot hunt within 200 yards of a place of worship on Sunday. I don't know if that's 100% correct. That's just a person from the Virginia area. I probably wouldn't hunt within 200 yards of a place anyways.
I mean, unless there's a good deer or
That's
something.
true. Well, funny story.
oh boy.
Waterfowl story. So where I went to high school, the town I grew up in basically, so Kearney. And you might remember this, but just growing up there, hearing about it, and so my dad was in law enforcement there, and there was numerous areas in town where you've got the lakes and stuff, and all that, and so they would attract all these geese. And those neighborhoods were like, the geese are a nuisance, and we need to get rid of them, and they just crap everywhere. And so my dad's like, I like waterfowl hunting. That'd be one way to get rid of them. But you're inside the city, right? So he went to board meetings, and anyways, they got it. A statute or whatever you want to call it passed that you could hunt inside the city limits for geese. I believe you had to be with him though, and we had signs, that said,
Warning.
official hunting, whatever going on.
Official Goosebusters on duty.
Official Goosebusters on duty, exactly. And so we literally lived on the south end of town, in Greenfield, as you're heading out of town, and there's the pool house and the neighborhood pool and this nice neighborhood, and then a crop field, because the neighborhood ended.
Did you ever throw honkers in the pool?
I think one came close to landing in it after we shot.
Some floaters.
So we're down there
Some
hunting.
secret shells on the edge.
Exactly, yeah. So obviously you're careful. I mean, you're out there shooting, and I mean, I can't imagine that morning waking up to us blasting in a goose hunt, and you're sleeping in a house, not very far away. Well, anyway, someone had called, and they
Sheriff? They called the sheriff?
They called the game wardens, and they probably had no idea, so I get it. They're wondering who's down there shooting geese behind the pool house. And so game warden shows up, and there's a couple of them. Hey, how's it going, guys? And, of course, hey, this is what we got going on, My dad's like, oh, I'm so-and-so, and I work in town here. And, we show him. He still asks for license and all that. And while he's talking to us and we're all standing there, a couple geese start flying over. We're like, oh, get down. And he's trying to conduct a deal, but we know we're legal, so we're like, well, we got more geese to kill. And so those two geese came in close enough while he's investigating, and we're like, take them. Boom, boom. A couple geese. And he goes, well, looks like you guys got it under control, so I'll let you out of here. But it was odd, weird.
Yeah.
It was so cool, though, and I don't think it helped the goose nuisance.
But it was
But it
fun.
allowed us to go hunt some city geese.
I'd say it just so happens to be the best field in town, too. They always rotated
It was
between corn
so
and beans,
good,
and it's
yeah.
always
We used
loaded.
to hunt behind the truck stop,
Okay.
back before like the pumpkin patch and all that, behind Shannon's.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
place still
so-
loads up.
But yeah, we got a huge response from that, so that's great and I read through as many as I could. But keep giving us responses, and we always talk about like things you want to hear about, and just that's what we like. So
Send us an email. Got topics
exactly.
you want us to cover.
But like
So
this
what
person
was
put
Pennsylvania?
like this is
Or-
kind of dated West Virginia. You can hunt Sundays. So, and obviously, and I think Hayden even said like a lot of it's recent, but within the past 2-3 years, some of that has changed. But you think about that. I mean, we're talking, just a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That you still couldn't hunt. It just befuddled me.
There's another
Boom.
one. Perplexed.
Oh, I was. Yeah. I didn't know about it. I never heard about it. So, anyways, so.
And there are a lot of like new groups coming up, and a lot of conservation groups that are advocating, against this or to get these laws changed or just updated. So hopefully,
I tell you what
depend
was.
on how you think of it, but hopefully they keep moving
Yeah.
forward and allow everybody to hunt.
Right, because my biggest thing is, and obviously this is, some people have said you're allowed to hunt now, which is great. And, obviously we're all conservationists and hunt and all that. And so really the simplest way I could put it is I'm just trying to make sure everybody has an opportunity to go hunting whenever they want, if it's legal to go at that time. And I want it to be open 7 days a week so we can get more people out there and more opportunities to get out in the field. And I was, just researching like numbers and stuff. And one of the last studies that I found, this is 2018, so again, we're 4 years removed, but it still correlates, is the decline in hunters is trending in the wrong way if you like hunting. And it's trending down at a rapid pace. And they were talking at that time, 2018, so we're 4 years over the next decade. So that would have put us at 2028, that the numbers is just going to fall off the map of how many hunters are out there, and you don't realize how much money and conservation programs and is put into the economy by people buying licenses and attending these conservation events, and it was crazy to see, the decline. And there's a lot of things that came into that. A lot of it is streaming devices now, and gaming is bigger than ever,
and just access. I think that's a huge thing. And there's been groups that put out this report that there's, I forget the exact number, but I want to say it's roughly 16 million acres of landlocked public land that people just can't access because it's surrounded by private on different corners.
Well, you look at, and this is kind of the political side, but you look at individuals buying big chunks of land. Like, how much farmland does Bill Gates own?
Yeah.
I mean, it's out there. He does own big chunks, and I'm guessing there's no hunting on those properties.
Who knows?
I don't know, but I'm not sure.
Or like you look up a property on X and it says some land corporation out of Southern California. And you're like, well, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, farmland does get bought up by people that don't hunt.
For sure.
Another program, which is a cool program, but some NFL players just bought a 100-acre farm, and it's a new kind of program that NFL players are getting into. And I don't know some of them, but without looking at it off the top of my head. But it's more for to help them after they retire. There's more things, and so they're doing it. I like the reason. They bought a 100-acre farm, and then they might buy another one down the road, and to start farming and crops, and it's a way for them to, if they're interested in that, to, allow a program for farming, and then they can lease it out to farmers that still like farming. So it helps the farmer too that might not have farmland, but that, maybe he lost farm or whatever. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, access. Another issue was baby boomers accounted for like 1/3 of all hunting. Well, we're getting to the point now where the baby boomers are peaking at their age where they don't hunt anymore. They were at 65. A lot of individuals don't pick up a gun anymore and don't hunt. And so it really drops off. Obviously, there's people that still hunt after 65, but, if baby boomers account for 1/3, and most of them now are reaching that 65-year-old age or will be within the next 5-10 years, and that takes out 33% of your hunters. I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, it's a lot of money that hunters put into conservation to keep wildlife from becoming endangered or extinct. Or, I mean, just look at the history of it, of bringing back wildlife. And so
for sure. I mean, there's plenty of examples that show the importance of hunting and just this outdoor industry.
Yeah, so I suppose what I would say is, if you're listening and you like hunting, and make sure you take the chance to help get other people out there if they want to experience it, because we need it. So there you go. All right, well, I'm going to get out of here. No, I'm kidding. You got me ready to go now.
Chandler, what were you wanting to talk about today? What's the big story from Arkansas?
Well, over the weekend, we were introduced to something we've never dealt with or seen, and just how it went down was just blew our mind.
Something you never thought was possible.
I understand where this law, I've heard about it. I know what it's like, but I didn't know it was, this way.
People took advantage of it.
I mean, yeah, or just disregarded some of the other parts of it. It's like speeding. You're speeding 10 miles over, but I don't know. So we're dealing with some high water law issues, not issues, but the high water law in Arkansas. We were hunting a private club that Travis has been a part of for, 15 years?
Yeah, I believe it's 15. He had hunted it before that. Some guys that he knew owned it before he joined.
So, private ground, the river comes up, a big river comes up and floods all the timber. Well, it seems like they come out of the woodwork. All the guys who don't have permission to hunt on that property just come flying in like they own the place.
Coming from public access.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming from a public waterway. You know, if you're looking at Onyx, you're crossing a border into private ground, you know, looking at a satellite imagery. And they're just flying in boat by boat.
Because the river had flooded
Yep.
into that field.
Yeah, so the only way they can get in is when the water rises high enough, they're able to cross over these roads
Gotcha.
Yeah, levees and different things like that and get into this area. And they all know it. And I think the rule and law is you can't anchor, you can't tie up to a tree.
Is this for Arkansas?
This is for Arkansas.
And and so
From
this
what I
this can
understood.
vary by state as well. So
Yeah.
just
Right.
throwing that out there.
Which we'll go over Missouri here in a second.
But you can't anchor, you can't tie up to a tree. Supposedly your decoys the rigs can't touch the ground. Like,
Otherwise, you're trespassing.
otherwise you're trespassing. When you make contact with the tree, the earth, the ground, the property, you know, that's what you can't do. So guys have talked about, oh yeah, the water's, you know, not moving, you can just float there and your decoys are tied to your boat and all this, you know, you don't ever get out. Like that type of stuff is technically by law, I think you're fine. But you pull up on a guy and every guy's tied to a tree, or their
Everybody has
decoy
their
rigs are
decoys
touching the
out.
ground.
Sure.
Like
They're waiting out there grabbing their dead bird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy. And our first day we set up, and then someone came in late and set up like in between our party, which was part of the club, and another party which we knew about that was part of the club. They set up in between us.
And they're maybe 200 yards away.
Yeah. And it caused a big mess for
Yeah,
everybody.
that's wild.
Because nothing works well when you have you get in between everybody. Now all that it gets, the calling gets
Right, yeah.
competition.
At some point, yeah.
yeah.
You become so compact.
You're
200
basically calling
yards
it the
might
same
not
bird.
sound like it, but
Yeah.
really when you're stacked up and
For sure.
Well, yeah, Travis went over in the Friday morning. Those guys, we had very, very nice guys, and got up and left.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We don't know if they were intentionally or they didn't know or they just heard about it. Who knows?
yeah, and some guys might not know,
But
right?
Yeah.
The river floods. I'm on the river. I'm just I'm gonna float this way, and you just But you talked about like Onyx. It's a great tool to use.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Saturday wasn't
I don't
many
say-
people out.
I don't think we had any issues Saturday, but Sunday was
Was crazy.
totally different story.
The water was dropping, and I don't know why, but I thought it would be the worst time for people to go out to a place you don't know, like 100% when the water's dropping, because we're over here. And Travis has hunted there for 15 years. And he's like, yeah, we don't want to go too far back because we're going to be on dry ground, by the end of the hunt, which we almost were. I mean, we're pushing the boat out by hand because we couldn't get in it because we couldn't drive out. It got that low. But these people were just pouring in, but they are leaving early too, actually.
Yeah, I think there was probably 8 or 9 parties that crossed over into his private place that weren't supposed to be there.
That'd
Yeah.
give me a headache.
I mean, it was wild.
Oh, man. And they're like, the last one that would cause an issue, like drove up like almost to our spread and then jerked to the left and jumped into the timber and,
Right.
was just bumping into trees, tearing, hauling through the timber. And Travis, goes over to talk to him and they were not friendly at all or whatever. So they didn't move.
Yeah. So in Missouri, you're talking about, and obviously this is Missouri, and I looked it up and made sure I was on par here, but they talk about the stream bed. And so basically that begins at the high water mark, which is the point where trees and permanent vegetation would grow. And so you have to have permission beyond that point. So like down there, whether it was or wasn't, sounds like it's not legal. But yeah, you could be on the river. It flooded into this field. But that's above that high water mark.
Yeah.
And so you would have to get access then to get there. And that's at least how it is here.
And I don't know if that's exactly how it is down there.
Right. But since we are in Missouri, let's go over that.
Educate us, Pat.
Educate.
Yes,
Well,
please.
Chandler told me to take a look at it, not knowing what the story was, but he just told me to take a look at it. So
What'd you find out?
Before you
What's
go
your
into
book
that,
report?
I felt like
this is from the DNR.
this is not a
Website.
real relation to what we had going on, but I feel like if you had your deer property right up north, and then Joe Blow was able to hunt it because there was 3 feet of snow and he never touched your ground.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's
It did answer my question about when I was talking
walking up the
earlier
creek?
about the creek.
Yep.
yeah.
It did answer my question on that. They would be trespassing.
So go into Missouri a little bit. I
Yeah.
just
So
wanted to throw
this
that
is
out there.
this is, and I had to go. I ended up getting it off the DNR website, and it's under trespassing, but this specifically talks about the waterway laws when it comes to trespassing. We all know the non-waterway laws, but you
You
just
can't go hop that fence.
yeah, don't cross that fence. Which happens not because a guy wants to hunt you see that a lot in deer hunting.
For sure.
Right?
Especially,
You
you
wound
shoot
a
a
deer
deer.
and you hit it and you follow the blood trail and it gets to a fence and they're like, hey, I want to go recover it, but
Yeah.
technically you have to get permission. Anyways, so with the waterway laws, they broke it down into 3 classifications. So public navigable waters, which is like your large rivers. So anything that you can run a commercial boat and barges. So big time stuff. Obviously that's public and it's navigable. There's public non-navigable waters, which would be technically, even though they call it non-navigable, it is, but that's middle-sized streams. So canoes, kayaks, you can float down it on a raft or whatever. And then there's private non-navigable, which would be small streams that you can't float canoes or kayaks. So like the stream on our property. Yeah, if it rained like all day, yeah, technically you could probably put a kayak in there for like 50 yards maybe at the longest straight stretch. But in general, no, which that helped me figure out that. So no.
Is that a creek or does it have a tire in it?
Yeah. It's a creek if it has a tire. It's a creek if it's clean. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Finally
I'm
know the
learning that.
difference.
Yeah, a creek and a creek. So those are the 3 classifications. So going through each one of those. So on private, non-navigable waterways, which is like your small streams, and you're not able to float canoes or kayaks. So anglers and floaters have no right to use the stream without permission. Self-explanatory.
Yep.
You got a little stream on your property that's just, from erosion, it's been there, whatever. No one's got a right to be in there, even if it floods, because that's not normal. That's just a rarity. On public non-navigable waterways, which would be like your middle-sized streams, so you're able to float kayaks, canoes all the time, unless there was some severe drought, which then you wouldn't be on there anyway, so it wouldn't matter. The property lines for those go to the center. Basically, if like your neighbor and you shared that stream, your property line goes to the middle.
Yes.
So that's how the property lines are. The difference on this, even though it's private property, on like a public non-navigable waterway, although it could be private property, you still have the right to fish, wade, or boat within that stream bed.
Nothing about the high water mark.
Well, that's the stream bed.
Yeah.
What they're talking about there is that high water mark
Or
for
below.
the stream bed.
Yeah.
So below that high water mark. Anything above that high water mark is out of the stream bed, which would be like your normal vegetation and stuff would grow, right?
Yeah.
Basically up on top of the bank. You can also, that includes gravel bars too, like if they're submerged and they've been there, but you can wade, your feet can touch the bottom. We were discussing earlier kind of how that works. Now, access to it would be different, right? You have to find a public access point, which might come off a public roadway, which I'll get to in just a second. And that's how you floated down that stream and then crossed into private property, but you stayed within that, navigable, water. So you can stay there. You just can't go up above that high water mark or that stream bed, up on top of the bank. You are allowed to get out if there's an obstruction that goes and blocks it, like a tree fell over or a log jam. You do have the right to get out and walk around it on the bank.
So is a group of mushrooms on the bank, is that an obstruction they can get out for? Or?
I don't know if I'd go that far, but
all right, just checking.
Stay in the boat if you can. And then there's, and then obviously we talked about the private stuff, and that's self-explanatory. So those are kind of your two. The stream bed, that's why I want to talk about that. And that's kind of what they're referring to with the high water mark. So, and then what I ran into was, so in 1954, the Missouri Supreme Court actually ruled on this. And so and I'll probably mispronounce the last name, but it's Elder versus Delcour, Delcour. And actually, it's a big case because you get the whole docket. And I read most of it, but.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but it took me a while. I did that after lunch. But that's where I learned about so this was the Merrimack River.
Okay.
If you know where that's at, down south. And so the Merrimack River runs through it's in Decatur County, but some of that river runs through private land. And this is when that case started, and they kind of made this big ruling. But a guy floated in his canoe, found a spot to put in on the Merrimack, floated it, and got to a point where a private property started, and the guy put one of those like fences or like cattle cage, trap type deals across the waterway where his property line started.
Mm-hmm.
And so how this interaction started is the guy in the canoe tried pushing it down just to go over it. The other guy got mad. Anyways, they took it to the Supreme Court and said, no, he can do that. He can push that fencing you put up down to keep going because that's public waterway for him as long as he stays in the waterway. And if he runs across a log jam, which he actually did, he is able to get out of his canoe, pull his canoe around it, and then keep going. So anyway, it's kind of neat, history on it. But
yeah, absolutely.
So there you go. So no, you can't come on the stream where I hunt, but there might be some others that you can float a canoe down and go on that one instead. But there's different rules and laws and blue laws and
Jordan from Duck Gun Chronicles, he floats and shoots geese, right?
Yeah, he does.
And pretty much just in the boat. There's no decoys, and they just
floating.
Just float down the river.
Just waits for a goose to fly by.
They jump when you're floating. They're sitting on the river.
Gotcha.
So like you come around a bend.
It's you kind of come around a corner,
and
they pop up, and that's
flush up, and you shoot them.
I gotcha.
I think he had some guys not happy with him on a YouTube video that he posted.
Yeah,
but they don't own that.
Right. Yeah.
That river.
Yeah.
And then I know there's Colorado fly fishing guides, they cannot get off the boat and they have to float. And
that'd be good to ask Sam. He used to work in fishing, who's now a professional fly fishing guide in
and where's
it, Idaho or Wyoming? He had to go to Montana to get his guide certification, whatever, and then you can pick where you want to go, and which he really wanted to go to Alaska, but he got stationed in Wyoming or whatever, and he's been doing it ever since. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it'd be cool to.
So it's definitely another state by state issue there.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
So definitely check with your game laws and DNR.
Local warden. Yeah. They said on the DNR page, they said, check your local prosecuting attorney. And they should be, they should know, is this waterway, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, to see what the ruling is, but it's interesting. It's not like the one guy floating down the iceberg on the river.
Yeah, that
Did
was
they ever
nuts.
find him?
I don't know.
What?
That was a crazy story.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't
It was
know.
on,
I think he did it the year before, though.
Yeah.
I think this was his second time. So when the river,
What river?
was it the Mississippi or Missouri?
I want to say Missouri, but I could be
Missouri.
wrong on that.
Mississippi or Missouri.
Okay.
And when the big ice chunks started floating down, he's got his long, like,
Push pole type
push
thing.
pole type thing, and he jumps on one and floats it down.
To where?
Well,
To
this time,
wherever it hits land.
wherever it hits land. But this time, to be in all seriousness, I don't think he made it. He hasn't been found. But the last I looked, that was like a week ago. But anyways, wild story.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Like, where does he start?
But he was on public navigable waters.
No.
Where does he start?
I don't know where he started. This is the same guy that did that pumpkin. You see the pumpkin?
I missed that one.
This is a pumpkin bigger than this table.
Oh, didn't he
And he
carve it
carved
out into a boat?
into a canoe. he gutted out the insides and sat down in it and floated down the river in it.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a heck of
I
a
saw
pumpkin.
that.
Yeah.
He's on a pumpkin cruise.
That's one. Yeah. Make a good jack.
If you get hungry,
Yeah.
just eat your boat.
For real. Yeah. Some pumpkin seeds.
What does that look like? I don't know. I don't
Is
know.
that a-
Chupacabra.
Is that your kookaburra?
Let me see that.
No, it was like a Black Panther.
That is a Black Panther.
I don't have any credibility. Just
Okay.
the picture.
From where?
Park Hills, Missouri, which is not Park Hill, Missouri, which originally is what I thought when I saw it, because I thought like they accidentally put an S on it. But Park Hills with an S, which is south of St. Louis.
What?
Is
Is that one of those got loose from the zoo? Do you see that?
I did not see
The
that.
St. Louis Zoo.
Well, it's
actually,
close by, so
but
it
it
could
was
be.
it was a leopard that got loose. They ended up finding it, but that's not a.
Don't
Yeah, that's a little wild.
Black Panthers, don't they have like, if you
What-
look really
where'd
close,
you
they
call
have
it?
spots. Park Hills with an S?
I don't know. I thought they were like a myth.
Oh, man. You got to be a.
Because, like, mountain lions are panthers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's this.
It does look like a. It looks
Oh.
exactly like
You're just
that
looking at, like,
picture.
I have to dig in a little bit more about if there's anything else posted around. They said they contacted conservation, waiting to hear back, but they got photos.
Well, remember when we had the game warden on?
Yeah.
We asked him about
You know how
many
much they
people call
look
him.
at photos, though.
Well,
We
we
kind of heard that.
we talked to him about like Sasquatch and Black Panthers and how many times like
and people
people
call.
call.
on,
He's
like,
like, it happens all the time.
I got Bigfoot in my backyard.
Yeah.
There's a Sam Squatch.
Jeez.
My neighbors actually have Bigfoot in their backyard.
They have like a carved one or something?
Yeah, they got like a steel cutout.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah.
you have laid eyes on a Bigfoot then.
Yes, I have.
Impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah. Speaking of Houston, his dad, I think, likes the thought of Bigfoot. I don't know if he's a true believer or not.
Well,
but,
who doesn't?
We thought about going through their cellular trail cams back on their deer property and running by with a Sasquatch costume. Like I don't know what you think, 45, 50 yards, like
Just
You got to make it a little
just
blurry.
enough, just blurry enough, just farther enough away that like his dad gets this picture on his phone and freaks out, and wants to drive 2 hours north to the deer property to go check it out.
This was
They have to make like some big footprints like right at the opening gate, like.
Oh, yeah. I feel like this is how most Bigfoot pictures are.
Yeah.
Exactly how you just hear
Oh,
thought.
just-
yeah.
Yeah.
Not
so this one
discrediting
must have got
anything.
loose or something. This is from 2005, so
A different one.
this is from the southeast Missouri, and Black Panther still evading capture. Branson, Missouri. Animal control officials have called off attempts to catch a black panther spotted roaming around Branson last week and will wait for evidence the big cat is still around.
That'd be so cool to see one of those things.
Unless you're out there deer hunting.
From a distance,
Then I'm staying
I
away.
get scared if I hear a raccoon in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Or
geez.
turkeys
I'm outta
jumping out of the
here.
roost.
Oh.
Those always scare me.
I hate when the turkeys are roosted in the darn deer tree stand I'm in. They fly out in the morning. I don't know they're there.
Oh, yeah.
Now there are
That makes you
Sounds like the
Every
tree's
time.
falling down.
Oh, yeah.
obviously there's confirmed mountain lion reports. Those have been confirmed, but some of them too. It's like they. Sometimes I feel like it's like they don't want to confirm it.
Yeah,
because they don't want to freak people out. Like, there's a mountain lion. They're always hesitant. I feel like the wardens are like, I don't know.
I don't blame them though, trying to cause a stir like that.
Brandon's dad's got a couple elk pictures.
Well, he just
recently from north. I forgot.
So every year there's elk on trail cams in Missouri.
For sure.
I don't, whether they come from farms or whatever. But we do have a handful of elk farms here.
So you guys got any plans to finish out the season, or are you guys done?
Let's see. I'm probably done. Now that I love, waterfowl hunting, but I'm probably gearing up now towards fishing, and we've got some things coming up. We've got the, gearing, switching over for spring turkey. We got the convention Rogers Sporting Goods will be at in Nashville. So try to set up for that. So really just time and getting out there. So I apologize.
I think I got at least another goose hunt and a duck hunt lined up, or potentially it left in me. So hopefully in the season. I mean, the past couple weeks have been great for me, but not in Missouri. I had to go south to find anything.
You were a nomad. You were traveling.
Yeah.
Which pretty much, I mean, I guess besides our southern zone, Missouri's closed on duck sale. If you want to hunt, you got to travel. At least to southern Missouri or Kansas is close, but we still have like some of our honker seasons stuff are open. But
Yeah.
I want to get a good honker hunt.
You probably still
getting
getting after it until it all dries up, huh?
Gonna try to.
You just nonstop.
Once duck season ends, it's squirrel time.
squirrel, huh?
Goose
Dude, I
buster.
love squirrel hunting.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah, he likes the squirrels.
Oh yeah. I
You should
might.
come, Pat, you want to go squirrel hunting?
I need to go squirrel hunting.
Just go sit in your tree stand. You'll see a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I know. And then when I want to go squirrel hunting, they're never around.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to go fake sit in a stand, even though it's not deer hunting.
Put your deer hunting clothes on.
Wear some blaze orange.
Put your blaze on. Exactly. They're going to think you're just trying to get a deer.
It's true.
And they're going to come out.
Yeah,
Good point.
I'll do it.
Or get out there
we're
and chase
just
them.
a lot of switch over now for me.
Yeah.
And just, clean up, start going through fishing stuff, which doesn't, it seems like it's far off, but it's really not. And turkey and, probably need to see what I got in my garage.
Yeah, I got to rig my kayak out with live scope.
Yeah.
Did I saw, is it LiveScope XR? Is that the new thing or something that popped
Maybe. It
up?
might
I'll check it out.
So it's hard to keep up with all that. It changes so
I'll have to
fast.
talk
boy.
to my insider,
Yeah.
my neighbor.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
I think I just have a possible snow goose hunt lined up, but other than that, I'm pretty much
cool.
done.
I do.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm going to do that. Just get you out for. Have you ever done it? Snow goose?
The one time I went with a buddy, and this is when I was in high school, up to Mountain City. They had a place, but we didn't put out hardly any decoys, and I'm like, from everything I know, this is not enough. I think we shot one, but it wasn't the true, where they're just tornadoing in and doing all that. So, no. And I do take that back. I'll probably do like a, shed hunt / squirrel rabbit type hunt, all inclusive, and do it all at once.
Yeah. Shed season. Yeah.
It's coming up.
So, no, I'll probably do that. But
All right.
Yeah. And gearing up for turkey right after that.
Oh, yeah.
mm-hmm.
It's going to
Exactly.
be a fun year for turkey. We got a lot of good gear coming up from Rogers from turkey
Yeah,
season.
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. You'll be able to see some of the new stuff at NWTF. First time ever.
Yeah, this will be out before that. So
Oh yeah.
if you're listening and hey, that's a fun convention, the National Wildlife Turkey Federation convention in Nashville, and it's their 50th anniversary, so it's going to be pretty big. But we'll be out there. We'll be right next to Higdon. We'll have a booth as well, the Ryder Sporting Goods booth, and all sorts of cool stuff to sell you.
Yeah, and that's roughly middle of February, correct?
Yeah, February
Smack dab middle of February.
February 15th through the 19th.
Something like that.
Basically, the 16th, 17th, and 18th is when the convention is. So, and it's a good time. And you don't even, for any hunting, come out there, talk to all the guys you watch on TV or meet and greets, and check out all the cool stuff they have. And it's
sure.
Nashville. And
I'm assuming for the guys that can't make it, we'll be putting this all up on Instagram or social media, so they can check it out then.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get
all
some
the new product launches.
some stuff, and yeah,
awesome.
we'll get some stuff. Try to highlight some things too, or if we see something cool down there, we have to make sure we spotlight it. But definitely, if you're around that area, come by and say hi. So we'll have some crazy deals for that convention. So we'll get you all outfitted for spring turkey. Most definitely. But
Sweet.
and thanks, Gregory, for coming on. I know we pulled you away from some stuff, but
I appreciate you guys having me.
anytime,
nice
stop
You gotta
on in.
order. You gotta order more Sika.
That's what I'm working on.
That's right.
And others. I
Yep.
will not forget the others.
Yep. Get all the stuff bought for the year.
Yeah.
So
We have a lot coming for fall. I'm working
bet.
on been working on fall 23 for a little bit, so
Really?
everybody be on the lookout.
oh yeah, I'm excited. It's another year. Appreciate it,
Sir.
Josh.
You betcha.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, you betcha,
Thank you.
yeah.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Be sure to rate the podcast.
See
Well,
ya.
Josh, put your plugs in the back or at the end. You should just record them.
We're gonna give him
I'm kidding.
his little
You know, just
his
do an
little plugs.
outro for us here.
Yeah.
little outro plugs.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to leave a rating. And if you're not following us on our social media accounts, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
And if that doesn't do it, I don't know what will. That was
Dude, I'm
fantastic.
professional. I used to do that
I'd
on my
sign
videos.
up right now.
I used to have this whole outro thing. Follow me on social media, blah blah blah.
Uh-huh.
Every single video, but I quit doing that.
I'm pumped.
Good.
I wanna go
Stay
get coffee.
pumped. We'll see you next week.
See ya.